Hello and welcome my diaspora family. We are back again with another piping hot video on the state of global affairs. Today, we're diving headfirst into the wild world of British immigration. Buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get interesting. Britain has always been a melting pot of cultures, a vibrant tapestry of accents and cuisines. But lately, the welcome mat seems to have gotten lost in the mail. The UK government has been tinkering with immigration laws like a toddler with a Lego set, leaving many people scratching their heads. New rules, new visas, new controversies. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a Boris Johnson U-turn. So let's break down the latest developments and see if we can make sense of this bureaucratic maze. Let's go. Remember that time the UK government decided to house asylum seekers on a barge? Yeah, that was a whole thing. Picture this, a giant rusty vessel bobbing gently on the waves, filled with hundreds of people who just want a safe place to call home. They called it the Bibi Stockholm. But I'm pretty sure the HMS Clusterholm would have been a more accurate name. The plan was to cram as many asylum seekers as possible onto this floating dormitory, presumably while blasting Come Sail Away on repeat. Because nothing says welcome to our country like a forced voyage on a vessel that looks like it was designed by a committee of seagulls. So, what happened? Why did the Bibi Stockholm become a symbol of everything wrong with the UK's asylum system? Well, for starters, it turns out that cramming hundreds of people onto a cramped barge isn't exactly conducive to a happy and healthy living environment. Imagine trying to maintain social distancing in a space smaller than a Kardashian's walk-in closet. Then there were the protests. People took to the streets and the seas to voice their outrage at this inhumane and frankly ridiculous plan. Even the fire brigade got involved, raising concerns about the barge's safety standards or lack thereof. Faced with mounting pressure and the very real possibility of a PR disaster of titanic proportions, the government finally caved. The Bibi Stockholm was evacuated, and the grand plan to solve the UK's asylum housing crisis with a rusty old barge went down in flames. The Bibi Stockholm fiasco was a major embarrassment for the UK government, but it also highlighted a much deeper issue: the country's increasingly hostile stance towards asylum seekers. In recent years, the UK has made it significantly harder for people fleeing war and persecution to seek refuge on its shores. The government claims that these measures are necessary to deter illegal immigration and protect the UK's borders, but critics argue that they are nothing more than cruel and unnecessary attempts to scapegoat vulnerable people for political gain. The decision to scrap the Bibi Stockholm barge was a small victory for compassion, but the fight for a fair and humane asylum system in the UK is far from over. Okay, so we've covered the barge debacle, but what about all the other changes to the UK's immigration system? If you're planning on visiting, working, or moving to the UK, you're probably wondering, what the hell is going on? Don't worry, I got you. The UK has introduced a points-based immigration system, which basically means that you need to rack up enough points to be eligible for a visa. Think of it like a game of immigration bingo, except instead of shouting bingo, you get to live in a country with questionable weather and even more questionable food. To earn points, you need to have things like a job offer, a certain level of English proficiency, and enough money in the bank to support yourself. Because apparently, breathing British air is expensive. The rules are complex and ever-changing, so it's best to consult with an immigration lawyer before you pack your bags. Rights and wrongs. the human cost of immigration control. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The impact of these immigration changes on human rights. Here's the thing. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, regardless of where they come from or how they got here. When we start treating people like criminals simply for seeking a better life, we lose sight of our shared humanity. We become a society that is more concerned with building walls than building bridges. The UK's immigration policies have real consequences for real people. They separate families, deny opportunities, and create a climate of fear and uncertainty. It's time for the UK to live up to its values and create an immigration system that is both fair and humane. Gassos, beyond the barge, rethinking asylum housing in the UK. So, if housing asylum seekers on a barge is a bad idea, and it is in case that wasn't clear, what's the solution? Well, for starters, the UK could stop trying to cram people into overcrowded and unsuitable accommodation. Instead of resorting to desperate measures like barges and military barracks, the government should invest in long-term solutions, such as building more affordable housing and providing adequate support services for asylum seekers. The UK could also learn from other countries that have successfully integrated refugees into their societies. Germany, for example, has a comprehensive system in place that provides housing, language classes, and job training to help refugees rebuild their lives. The future of immigration. A comedian's crystal ball. Predicting the future is a tricky business, especially when it comes to something as complex and ever-changing as immigration policy. So, what does the future hold for immigration in the UK? Will the government finally see the error of its ways and embrace a more compassionate approach? Or will it continue down the path of hostility and exclusion? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. But one thing's for sure, the UK's immigration policies will continue to be a source of debate, controversy, and hopefully some much-needed comedic relief. Stay tuned, stay informed, stay hopeful. That's all the time we have for today, folks. But before we go, I want to leave you with a message of hope. The fight for a fairer and more just world is never easy, but it's a fight worth fighting. Stay informed, stay engaged, and never stop using your voice to speak out against injustice. And hey, if you can find a little humor along the way, all the better. After all, laughter is the best medicine, especially when you're dealing with the absurdity of global politics. Thank you for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button now, like and share this video. Until next time, when I bring you another interesting video.